Hey everyone, it's Nikita, and welcome to another episode of the Journey Girl Magic Podcast. I'm super excited to be here today. This last week I've been sick. I had my very first sinus infection, and let me tell y'all, I would not wish that on anyone. I was down and out for the count for a good 4 days, and I'm just glad to be on the other side of it, feeling better, ready to go, and ready to journey with you all today. So, in today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about starting your imperfect journey. So, this podcast is all about you living your best life and showing up, doing what you need to do, and being the best version of yourself. But I know you're probably thinking, well, how do I even start this? Like, what is that first step? So, today, like I said, we're going to talk about how you start on that imperfect journey. And I'm going to give you 5 tips. Number 1, you have to show up. Hello, are you there? You have to show up and show that you are ready. You have to commit to being there. You have to say that I am here. I'm ready to try. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to give it my best and my all. Notice I didn't say you have to show up perfectly. How did you get where you're at? How did I get here? How did I get to this place? Whether that be a good thing in disbelief or just at the bottom and looking up, like, how in the hell did I let it get this bad? How did I let myself sink this far? Now, this is what I like to call the reality check. The reality check is the moment you just get real with yourself. You take responsibility and you say, I am where I'm at today because of the decisions I've made. Now, granted, life happens, and so it's not all your fault or all you're doing, but you play a key role in it. I mean, it's your life, right? So again, the first step to starting your imperfect journey is just to show up. So now that you've shown up and you're hashtag here for it, let's go to the next step. Being vulnerable. I want to see you. I want to see the real you. Not the Facebook or the Insta perfect or filtered you, but the real, raw, uncut version of you. Take off your mask. In today's world, I feel like everybody just walks around with this huge mask on. Like when you ask how you're doing, people just say, oh, I'm fine, I'm good. But nobody really tells how they're doing. Nobody really takes the time to listen to somebody's response about how they're doing. I just feel like everyone's walking around in their own worlds and not taking time for each other. And so take a moment, stop, take off your mask, not only for just people around you, but for yourself. Oftentimes we get so wrapped up in being this version of ourselves that maybe isn't real, that we ourselves get lost in it. We think that this is who I am. This is what people want to see. But we all want to see the real us, the real you. Because how many times have you just been going around and you're just like, if people could just accept me for who I am and what I bring to the table, then life would just be so much easier. I mean, after all, isn't that why you're listening to this podcast? Speak up. Be vulnerable. Talk about what you need. And as you're figuring out what you need, make sure you communicate that clearly. Take the time to truly figure out what it is that you want, what it is that you enjoy, what it is that you don't like, and then communicate that. And if for some reason you thought you did and then you didn't, oh well, life goes on. We all make mistakes. Mistakes are a part of life. It shows that we are trying and that we haven't given up yet. And so I personally love mistakes. There are little moments of humanity, of realness. Mistakes make the world go round in my book. So mistake away, mess up, communicate when you do, and keep it moving. Now, once you've shown up and you're vulnerable, let's go to step 3. And that is practice gratitude. This step and this tip is so important to me because oftentimes we don't stop and realize or take note of just the things that we're grateful for. We all know that life isn't promised, that someday or somebody can be here one moment and gone the next. And so you really have to be grateful for what you have. It may not be much, you could always have more, but in that moment, be grateful that you're breathing. Think about what you're actually thankful for, who you're thankful for, and most importantly, how you got to this place. I have a personal planner / calendar that I developed called the Journey Guide, and each day there's a section to write out gratitudes and what you're grateful for. And what I do is I sit down every morning and take about 5 to 7 minutes and write down 4 to 5 things that I'm grateful for. Some mornings it may be waking up. Some mornings it may be that I can get to work even if it's 5 minutes late. I often write how grateful I am for my family and my son and my wife. And then I take that gratitude with me throughout the day. Now, do I remember each thing I'm grateful for each moment of the day? No. But I carry it with me in my heart, and I know that it's in my subconscious. And then each night before I lay down, I go and I read through it again. I take a deep breath and I say, today was a good day. Today was a rough day. Today sucked. Today was awesome. But I'm grateful for this, and this. And then I lay down, and then I probably pull out my phone. But that is the last thing that I do before I lay down each night, is that I practice gratitude. Because if we're not grateful for something that we have, then we can't appreciate the new things that come into our life. So always remember, practice gratitude. Now, number 4 is a fun one. Be a badass. If you're going to live life, you might as well live it to the best of your ability. And so try something new. Try something you've never done before. Routine, although it's predictable and can be comfortable, sometimes routine can be boring. So step out. Do something different. Put yourself in a new environment doing something you've never done before with people you may have never seen or met. Magic will happen. Now, granted, there's going to be a lot of stress and a lot of nervousness, but at the end of the day, your mindset and just what you've learned and what you take from it is going to make the experience worth it. Another thing that all badasses do, they learn to say no. I'm going to repeat that again. Badasses learn to say no. Go ahead. Let that sit and marinate for a sec. You got to learn how to say no. Hell, I have to still learn how to say no. We're in a yes, 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 instant gratitude type of society. Somebody asks for something, they want it then. We want something, we expect it now in that moment. But what we don't realize is that I don't think we were built for instant gratification. Because in doing that, we don't have time to think it out. We don't have time to truly decide if this is something that we want, if this is something that we want to do. And so constantly saying yes, we never get a chance to actually ask ourselves, is this what I want? Is this what I want to do? And so, again, in saying no, you create boundaries. You give yourself space to make your own decisions, to show up for yourself, to take that reality check and see if this is actually what you want to do. Now, saying no doesn't mean that you'll never do it, but it's creating space. Space for you to actually pause and actually make an informed decision. Now, I know this is a big one, so if you're not quite ready just to say, nope, I can't do it, no, take baby steps. Maybe say, I need to check my calendar. Can I get back to you tomorrow? Can I get back to you in an hour? Can I get back to you later on in the week? This also gives you some space, so that way you can go home, you can decide if it's something you want to do, and you just have space to think. So the next time somebody asks you something or catches you off guard, pause. They can wait. You're important enough. Pause and think about, is it something you really want to do? And if it's not, say no. If it is, then gladly say yes. And if you're not sure, then give yourself some space and time by asking for an extension or just saying, can I get this? Can I give you your answer a little bit later? Can I let you in on a little secret? Another thing that badasses do? Badasses stop apologizing. Now, I don't mean if you run dead into somebody and you knock them down and you're like, oh well. No, not in that instance. But in everyday life, badasses don't apologize for things they're not truly sorry for. How many times have you been walking from your car to the grocery store and you notice that somebody's holding the door for you? What is your natural reaction? To hurry up, start hustling, get to the door and say, I'm sorry, thank you. No, don't do that. Don't apologize. They chose to hold the door open for you, and so instead of apologizing, say, thank you for holding the door, I appreciate it. But don't apologize. Don't shrink. I'm a part of a business mastermind group, and we're currently doing a activity where for the next 21 days, we are finding ways that we can shine each day and not shrink. And this has been so eye-opening and actually super hard as well, because I'm realizing how much I say I'm sorry or my bad or no worries, it's okay. That's my code for I'm sorry. And so catching myself in those moments and saying, nope, thank you, or I appreciate it when. Acknowledging and thanking trumps saying sorry any day. Because when you really think about it, are you truly sorry that somebody chose to hold the door open for you? Are you not worthy of that? Are you not worth somebody holding the door open for you? When you apologize or say you're sorry, that takes away from your worth. It invalidates yourself. It shows that you don't think you're good enough. And so let's stop doing that. Let's stop apologizing. So a quick recap. We're starting our imperfect journey, and we've shown up. We've been vulnerable. We're practicing gratitude. We're being a badass. And then the last one, which I believe is the most important, you got to enjoy the ride. You've got to enjoy these moments in your life because you only have one life to live. You've got to learn to be present, to say that I'm here for it, that I'm going to take in every moment that I can, all the experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly, because it's part of this thing that's called life, my life. And laugh. Life is too short not to laugh. Humor is one of the quickest ways to break the ice. So for me, laughter equals joy. When I laugh, I am happy, I am at ease, I am silly, I am accepting all of my imperfections, and I'm just being me. And so we need to laugh more. I truly make it a point to try to laugh at least twice every day. Most days I'm successful, some days I'm not. Some days I hit that mark and keep it going. Laughing brings relief. Laughing brings pause. Laughing brings a deep breath to the situation. Have you ever noticed when you laugh really hard at something, what you do at the end? You take a deep breath. You breathe in and you let it out. And in that moment, you are just being. So take time to laugh. And then let go. Let go of all the bullshit. There's too much of it in life. You can't take everything so seriously. You can't take everything to heart. You have to just let some things go by the wayside. I often like to visualize that some of my thoughts or some things that I see, like my scenery, are in a river. And you've got these sticks and twigs and leaves and things just floating. And so you can choose to pick them up. You can choose to examine them. You can choose to count how many of them there are, or you can just notice them. You may see a pretty flower and choose to pick that flower up. But then you also may see a big tree trunk and just let it coast on down the way. And so I know in my life, I can't take everything to heart. I don't have the mental brain capacity to do it. And so some things I just have to let go. Let go and let be. And in doing that, you're able to see the other side of things. You're not always caught in all the details. You're not always caught in everything that's going wrong, everything that's going right. You're just seeing it for what it is and not passing any judgment and just letting it go. And that's not a bad thing. We all need moments like that in life where our brain is not constantly trying to make decisions. We all need that mental break. And so there you have it. Those are the 5 tips for starting your imperfect journey. A quick recap. Number 1, show up. Number 2, be vulnerable. Number 3, practice gratitude. Number 4, be a badass. And number 5, enjoy the ride. So now that we've gone over that, now we're going to have a little bit of reflection work. I think in the past episodes I called them homework, but I like the idea of reflection work more. And so for your reflection work today, I want you to pick one of these that you're going to focus on for this next week. Whether it's going to be showing up, being vulnerable, practicing gratitude, being a badass, or just enjoying the ride. And I want you to go over to the free private Facebook group, Journey Girl Magic, and share. Which one are you choosing to focus on for this week? And what is one way that you're going to try to do that? All right, so that's all for today. Thank you for journeying with me today in this imperfect thing called life. Welcome to your journey.